Welcome, everyone, to our third Sunday chanting, toning, breathing, and moving. It is Sunday, February 16th, 2025, and we are so grateful that you're here with us. We love to bring care into all of our spaces, and so I want to invite us to bring in connecting to our breath and some grounding before we begin. So just connecting by inhaling through the nose, releasing through the mouth. And as you connect and ground in, I want to share some of the energies that we're bringing into our practice today. So finding just a nice, easy, soft flow of inhales and exhales. We've had quite a week, y'all. So just honoring and naming that and all of the energies that have come with it as you connect to your breath. The planet Uranus has been dancing with Mercury, the moon, and sun, and it's really been quite this idea of how do we tend to our systems, are regulating our nervous systems, right, and responding during disruption. And so we have that going on. Mars in Cancer retrograde is really bringing up quite some deep invites for us to possibly consider working with unprocessed anger from the past and asking us to be in our bodies. So we're working with quite a bit of energy. And as we do so, we want to maybe a shimmy and shake and a reminder as we connect, right? We can also release our energy, release what no longer serves us while we're making contact with Mama Earth, Pachamama, grounding in. That feels like any type of movement, stretch. We most certainly want to acknowledge all of the lands that we're on, the stewards of those lands. We most definitely want to call in and honor our tools and guides and practices, our elements, earth, air, fire, water, ether, spirit. Inhaling in through the nose. Maybe finding some deeper releases now. We want to take just a moment to consider what your intentions are for practice today. And as we transition into this beautiful practice that we have set up for you today, we want to invite you to invite in your ancestors, your tools, your guides, your practices. Right on, y'all. I'm going to pass it on to Nick, and he's going to bring us into our practice a little deeper.
Thank you, TanyaMarck. So welcome, everyone. For today's practice, we have decided that we're going to work through the Four Immeasurables, which is a practice of four principles that comes from Buddhism. So the Four Immeasurables are equanimity, loving kindness, compassion, and joy. And these are four different qualities that in Buddhism they see have no measure because of how powerful each one of these building blocks is in our life of cultivating peacefulness and connection and the ability to be here and to be in harmony and living with other humans on the planet. So we're going to do a few different practices with each one of them today and work through those together. So I want to talk a little bit about equanimity because that's where we're going to begin. And in Buddhism, equanimity is a state of mental balance and even-mindedness. And my teacher, Isa Gucciardi, who first taught me about these practices and qualities of the Four Immeasurables, describes equanimity as the ability to remain engaged and present without preference. And what that means is that in Buddhism, there's the idea of the cause of suffering. And they say that Buddhism is suffering is caused by three different things, basically: by attachment, resistance, and not knowing. So attachment is, what am I clinging to? What am I trying to get to that I can't have? So oftentimes we may look at it in the form of addictions, or clinging to an unhealthy relationship with a person, place, thing, habit, practice, etc. And then there's resistance, is what am I pushing away that I don't want? What is in front of me right now? What am I engaging with? Again, a person, place, thing, feeling, experience, mind state, whatever it is. What is the thing that I want to push away, that I don't want to deal with, that I want to ignore, that I want to dissociate from? And then there's just not knowing, which is like, we don't know what we don't know. And that one's a little bit harder to work with, especially when it comes to equanimity. So whenever there's confusion or learning something new that you didn't know, that you're just like, well, that doesn't make sense, right? But oftentimes it can be about confusion. It could be stuck in a place of mystery where that creates attachment or aversion. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a practice to really explore the different ways that aversion and attachment show up. And we're going to notice those energies in our body, and we're going to move through them with sound and with breath. So I'm going to start some music, and we're going to move into a mindful practice of working with that. So just taking some time to settle in where you are, closing your eyes or taking a soft gaze. And just feeling the surface of your body underneath you. And beginning to move your awareness inside. And just noticing all the places your breath meets the different parts of your body as you breathe in and out. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. And noticing now how your breath is almost like a bridge between your outer world and your inner world. And noticing now, just allowing yourself to draw more and more closely into your inner world. Allowing all of your inner senses to open. Your inner sense of sight, hearing, sound, even taste and smell, intuition and imagination to open widely now. finding a place in your inner world where you feel safe and comfortable, and you're in complete control of this space. And in this space, there is something like a shade or a curtain, a door, some kind of space that opens. And I'd like for you to imagine that just on the other side of that opening now is someone that you have positive feelings towards. A friend, a loved one, a kind neighbor. And on your next breath, noticing that that space opens up and you see that person before you. And as you see that person there before you, just noticing the feelings that you have towards them. You may feel an urge to move towards them, to touch them, engage with them, hug them. But I invite you to just stay where you are and take a breath. To bring in equanimity. To try to bring a state of mental balance and even-mindedness. To be present with them without preference of moving closer or towards them. And any urge or desire that arises to move towards them, just breathing into that space and exhaling. Just feeling any urges or desires. And toning into those places. And this is not about getting rid of the desire or the love that you have towards them, the positive feelings. It's not about erasing those feelings. It's just about tuning into any desire or urge that you may feel or have. How can I be engaged and present without acting on that desire to get closer? Can I be engaged in a state of balance and even-mindedness? And just breathing and toning into those urges. And on your next exhalation, just saying goodbye to the image of that person, allowing them to fade away, and to close that door, the curtain, the window, and come back to a place of just being alone with yourself. And taking a cleansing breath here. then I want you to sense or feel or imagine that there is another person standing behind the door, the curtain, that you have a mildly challenging relationship with. And I emphasize mildly. For just this simple practice today, we want to practice with someone we don't have very strong feelings towards, but just mild feelings of aversion towards. This could be a neighbor or a colleague you don't particularly care for, someone you have mild conflict with, or perhaps it's someone you don't know very well but you have negative projections towards. And on the next breath, allowing that door or curtain to open, and you envision that person here before you. And now just noticing any feelings of aversion that arise in your mind, your body, or your heart. And breathing into that feeling, any resistance, any aversion, urges to push away or run away, to ignore or close your eyes. And see if there's a way you can again bring equanimity into this relationship. How can I be engaged and present without preference? How can I bring a state of mental balance and even-mindedness while being present with this person? And again, scanning through your mind, your body, your heart, your energy system, and breathing into those places of constriction or contraction. And again, breathing in, and with a tone or a sigh, sending vibration of sound into those places in your mind, your body, your heart, your system, where you feel constriction, contraction, or aversion. Just being patient with yourself and just knowing this is a practice. Just doing the best that you can do to even just loosen the grip of aversion or attachment, constriction, contraction, and breathing into those places in any part of your system, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. Beautiful, beautiful. Just continuing to breathe. Breathing into those places of constriction, contraction. Sending tone and vibration. To loosen your grip on those places. Coming back to your breath and your body, feeling your body supported by the surface underneath you. Slowly beginning to stretch and move your body. And if you need to do any shakes or movements, stretches or shimmies, just to release and clear that energy that was shaken up, that was stirred up, that was cracked open and released through this practice, just letting that happen and letting it all go with a breath. And before we move on to the next portion of the chant, just taking some time to come back to your body, back to your space. Gently opening your eyes if that feels good. And perhaps taking some hydration. We're going to be moving into some vocalizing and singing, chanting portions. So if you want some water to wet your whistle and get those vocal cords lubricated, we'll be moving into that next. So I'm going to put up a slide now with the words for the next portion for our chant. So we're going to be going into the loving kindness portion of our practice now with this chant or this mantra. And I've put the words on the screen here for those of you who are here live. And I'll read them shortly, and then we'll begin the chant. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. And the intention of this mantra, of this chant today, is about sending yourself these own well wishes, even if you do not feel all of them right now, but sending them to yourself to cultivate that belief that these things can manifest. And also noticing any reaction that you may have to any of these well wishes that you have for yourself. Sometimes people may feel good hearing these, and sometimes certain phrases or words within this mantra can bring up aversion, coming back to what we were talking about with the equanimity. So what do I feel aversion towards? Maybe I don't feel like I'm worthy of loving kindness, or I'm not worthy of happiness. So again, just noticing that reaction, that aversion, that tension, that, I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I'm worthy of that. And again, just breathing into that, noticing that, and just coming back to the words of the mantra to cultivate that energy, that awareness, and those well wishes for yourself. So again, just settling your mind and your body. Maybe tuning into your heart space. Maybe placing your hands over your heart or your belly or some part of your body that you want to send loving kindness to. Or some place that just feels good. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be strong and well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and happy. And just taking a breath here. Feeling the reverberations of the words, of the mantra, of the chant. Checking in with your systems. Again, allowing anything to be released and cleared with a shimmy or a shake. A stretch, an exhale, and just coming back to your body and grounding, feeling the gravity of the earth holding you once more. And preparing to move on to the next practice with compassion.
Thank you, Nick, so much for bringing in and sharing the medicines of balance and loving kindness. And y'all, I can feel your energies and want to invite you to continue to inhale and exhale. And just want to take an extra moment, if we can, to revisit those intentions, our intentions, calling in our ancestors, queer ancestors, trans ancestors, and our tools and guides and practices to continue flowing with us in practice as we move into the compassion portion of our practice. We'll be flowing into this beautiful body scan, honoring the chakras first, and then we'll follow that with a chant of Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. So Nick has put the slide up for the second portion of this practice that we're having with compassion. And thank you, Nick, for doing that. And I just want to invite us to honor our chakra systems and the practice, these energy channels that are gifted to us from India and Hindu Veda practices. And as we work with those energy channels, really bringing in the medicine of compassion into our bodies and systems and to all the leaves, emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically, spiritually. Maybe you have your own fill in the blank Lee in the way in which you refer to your body and system, but really bringing that compassion in, right? And tending to our systems. And if you have the energy and capacity this evening, the invite is to expand it out from our systems into the past, the present, the future, to our communities, to the collective. So if that feels good to you today, that's the invite. So we'll be using the vowel sounds as we travel through the chakras. And I just want to invite you to continue to ground and shimmy and shake and connect to your breath in an aligned way. I want to start with just a couple of nice deep inhales and exhales. Bringing in those medicines of balance and loving kindness, starting at the base of the spine, honoring the root chakra for its energies and medicines of grounding, anchoring, and securing. We tone with the sound of If it feels good and you want to move any of your lower extremities and lower back, giving your love to those, they're all associated to that root chakra. Remembering at any time during practice, all the sticky, all the yuck is being sent out of your system into earth, into Pachamama. She'll take it and transmute it and transform it and recycle it. So just let it go, let it flow. Beautiful. Bringing in some inhales and exhales. If you want to add an SH to that exhale to bring in some cleansing. Yeah. A couple of more of cleansing breaths. That's right, bringing your flow and vibe up into the pelvic area, into the hips, honoring the sacral chakra with the tone of ooh, naming the energies of creation, reproduction, expression, our feels. On the inhale, oohing on the exhale. Incredible, y'all. Bringing in a cleansing, inhale and exhale, a little shimmy shake. Keeping our systems, tending to our systems, keeping them grounded and clearing them. Bringing our love and attention up to the belly, to the solar plexus. We will honor the belly and all of its magic with the tone of O. The belly, naming the energies of processing, digesting, filtering. It's also where our superpowers, our talents and skills hang out and come from. So giving some love to the solar plexus with O. If it feels good, some belly rubs, maybe even some rubs on the sides of the belly to the back where our kidneys are. Fantastic. Moving your flow right into the heart space. We're going to tone with awe, naming and honoring the energies of love, compassion, connection. If it feels good, finding ways to open up the chest by broadening out your arms, looking up, giving some love to the shoulders, some rolls in the wrists and the joints. that balance and loving kindness into the root with an up to the sacral with an into the belly with an and right into the heart with an Tending, bringing our attention and love up into the throat chakra. We'll be toning with honoring communication, speaking, listening, hearing. Sometimes with the we want to scrunch our face. That's okay. Giving any kind of love and attention to the throat that feels good, to the neck, to the head, to the shoulders. Y'all, that's right. Bringing that delicious flow right up into our spidey senses, to the base of the forehead, our third eye chakra, our inner knowing, our spidey senses. We'll tone with A-Y. Let's bring in some of those cleansing breaths. Giving some love and attention here. Amazing. Now coming to the top of our head, to the crown chakra. Acknowledging we are all connected, our cosmic consciousness. We'll tone with Om. We'll tone with 3 Oms. And then we'll spend some time. I want to bring your attention, if it feels good, to the slide. And we'll tone, and then we'll move right into our little Loka Samasta practice for today. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Beautiful, y'all. Connecting to your breath, bringing in that balance and loving kindness and compassion.
beings everywhere be happy and free.
Ashe, aho, gracias, amin. Amazing. Finding a little shimmy shake in the body as we come out of that compassion practice. Nice and gently, no rush, y'all. We're here, we're queer, we got this. Maybe some sighs there, that's okay. Whatever it needs, whatever our systems need. And we're going to move right into the joy portion where I just want to invite us to find movement and explore movement in the body. That could be actual physical movement. It could be visual movement. And I want to invite us to find it. And I'm going to call in each element. And I'm going to invite us to queer it up, y'all, and just to be that element and to move being that element. Calling in the medicine of earth. Our stones and bones and ancestors. Our mountains and rocks. Can we move like earth? Continuing to inhale and exhale. That's right. Can bring those shimmy and shakes in, continuing to tend to our care. Calling in the element of air, the wind, our breath. Our stars, our cosmos, our planets, our animals. Can we move like air? Woo, I'm feeling a stretch and a bend, y'all. Like a tree. It's blowing in the wind. Yeah. That's right. Calling in the element of water. The moon, our feelings, our emotions, our spidey senses, our ability to create and express. Staying connected to the breath, connected to our systems. Can we find a flow with water? A roll, a bend, a stretch. Woo. Honoring all sides of our body, the right, the left, the front, the back, the bottom, the top. Amazing. Let's call in fire and find that fire in our expression and in our movement. The sun, our will, our vitality, our identity, our spiritual aspects, all of the illumination and wisdom that come from light and shadow. Fire is action, it's passion, it's desire. Fire burns, fire releases, fire cleanses, fire activates. Including those deep inhales and exhales as you need to. Really just letting go and really queering it up. That's right. And really now finally calling in that fifth element of spirit and ether. Ooh, can you become that one with spirit and ether, or bring in spirit and ether and do a little tango with them and just move and bring in the earth, the air, the water, the ether and spirit. You can hear Pluto, the magical beagle, joining us, even doing some scratching and shimmy and shaking and releasing. Whoo! Oh! Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. One more round of earth, air, fire, water, ether, and spirit. Bringing in and calling in gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for our practice today, for our tools and guides and practices, the lands that we're on, all of our elements, for the four immeasurables and those beautiful Buddhist practices of equanimity, loving kindness, compassion, and joy. Sending all of these beautiful frequencies, if we have the capacity this evening, sending them out to our collective, wherever they may need to land, sending them out in all directions, past, present, and future. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Maybe bringing in some final movements and breaths as we return back from our deep, deep care portal. Final stretch, a final bend, a final shimmy and shake. Thanking our practice, our bodies, our systems, our community. And as we slowly come back to center, finding a place where we are returning back from our practice this evening, today, this morning, wherever time we may be in. Maybe a couple of sighs. And then really welcoming you to come back and return as it feels good to you. So we can just ease on back as it feels good. Yeah.